The following is a presentation of the Big Ten Conference.
Ohio State and Michigan. Just saying it gives me goosebumps. You feel that? They call it the game. Like it's the only one that matters. And if you're from Ohio or Michigan, hell, it is. This thing's been boiling for over a century. It hit full tilt when Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler locked horns. Two legends, two egos, and a 10-year war. The Buckeyes and Wolverines don't just play, they collide.
And they're tearing down Michigan's banner. Just stand them there now, fight.
The pain lasts 364 days for the loser. And lately, the maize and blue have the upper hand. 4 wins in a row.
And the Michigan Wolverines will shock the college football world.
And you can bet that's eating Buckeye Nation alive.
You know, got a locker room full of guys who are just devastated.
Today they'll do it again. Pride's on the line. Legacies made, legacies destroyed. And come kickoff, it gets real personal. Ohio State, Michigan, right now on Fox.
Our thanks to Billy Bob Thornton. There's Ryan Day, unbeaten this season, coming off a national title, but he is haunted by this 4-game skid courtesy of Michigan. His quarterback, Julian Sain, has played at an elite level all season. Could he have his Heisman moment today against his rival? Sharon Moore feels the pressure to get the Wolverines back to the heights they enjoyed under Jim Harbaugh. And another upset win over Ohio State would be a major step. And with a big performance today, true freshman Bryce Underwood would etch his name in the lore of this storied rivalry. It is the 121st edition of the game, and delivery to kickoff is sponsored by Wendy's. Get your Wendy's faves delivered for game day. You take a look at the temperature right now. Feels like the low to mid-20s. Snow may be on the way, but probably not until the later stages of this one as we welcome you inside the 3rd largest stadium in the world, Michigan's Big House. Sold out, marking the 56th consecutive sellout of the game. There will be northward of over 100,000 inside these stands. Millions more watching back home as Michigan and Ohio State get ready to battle in just a few minutes as we welcome you back to the biggest game of the year, from hatred to history of the greatest. That's all of this is at stake. There's nothing else in college football that can compare. No offense to the Iron Bowl, Mark, but this is different, man. Mark's taking strays and nobody said anything about it. Rob Stone, Brady Quinn, Mark Ingram, Matt Leinart, Michigan great Charles Woodson, Ohio State legend Urban Meyer back here with you. It is known simply as the game. And today's matchup is the 50th time these two have met as ranked teams. That is by far the most all time. For 8 years, Ohio State dominated the series. Urban, of course, went 7-0 from 2012 to 2018. Ryan Day won his first edition in 2019, but since then, it's been all maize and blue, all Coach Harbaugh, all Coach Sharon Moore. They have won 4 straight, including last season's epic upset in Columbus. The 10-year war. Hello, Heisman, tearing down the Go Blue banner. And this rivalry has created some of the game's everlasting moments. Will there be more today? Coach, Buckeyes, they're a playoff lock regardless of this result. Does that in any way diminish the value of the game?
First of all, anybody who says that this game is not, or minimize this game, you're out of your darn mind. Now look at Charles Woodson, Eddie George earlier. This game is life or death in the state of Ohio and the state up north of us. But the keys of the game are this. The best defense in America, Matt Patricia running it. The Wolverines offense will struggle. How about this? If you're Ryan Day, an offense coordinator Brian Hartline, you got to score 3 touchdowns and it's a wrap. That's it. So the mindset, how do you score 3 touchdowns? You take care of the ball, let your defense control the game, and score when it shows up. 3 touchdowns, Brady, and it's a wrap for the Buckeyes.
Well, people always, wonder why I'm up here and I'm always so confident when it comes to this game. I look at the game, I know I'm an analyst, but when it comes to this game, I'm not really coming at it from an analyst perspective. I'm coming at it from a player that was in the locker room for 3 years leading up to this game. 2 years we came into this game with losses. And people thought that we were going to lose that game just because we had a mediocre season, as people would tell us. But we knew what we put into this game each and every week. So I come from it from that standpoint, and we never felt they were better than us. We prepared as if we were the better team, and then we will go out there and show that. And that's why I'm always confident when I come up here. I don't know what it's like for Auburn, Alabama, USC, Notre Dame, but in this game, I sat in that locker room. I came out, ran out of this tunnel, and I know what this game is. I know our guys will be ready to play, and that's why I always lead Michigan. You understand me?
Yeah.
You understand that, everybody?
I hear you.
We completely understand that. And look, for me, the keys to this game is the quarterback play. With Julian saying, I think this is not a game where Ohio State needs to worry about establishing the run game. You utilize your weapons on the outside. Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, and Max Clare at tight end. You throw to open up the run game, and then you run in the second half once you build a lead. And for Bryce Underwood, he's got to run the football. He's got to be a part of that rushing attack. But he's got to be careful, too. Matt Patricia, Matty, you know this.
Yep.
He's as good as anyone at mixing up the skies and the looks, confusing quarterbacks from that side.
To me, it's not no secret recipe. The most physical team in this game wins. The most physical team, the team who dominates the line of scrimmage, who's hitting people in the mouth, who's imposing their will, that's the team who wins this game. It's true and true. It's tested true and true. The most physical team wins.
I think just to piggyback with Julian saying this is his moment, the Heisman, the Big Ten championship, the #1 seed in the playoff. How does he handle this Michigan defense? This is the toughest test he's faced since week 1 against Texas. I said it earlier in the show. Can Michigan score first? Can they get out to a lead and then control the clock running the football?
As far as passing conditions, very light winds right now. Yes, it's cold, but no moisture on the way until the second half. Last year, the Buckeyes favored by 20.5 points at home and lost. This year, they are 10-point favorites on the road. How do you see it?
I don't even see it being close. I'm sorry, Charles. I see Ohio State running away with this one, 34-13. I think the defense is too good. They get off to a fast start throwing the football around. This isn't the same Michigan defense we saw here a couple of years ago when we were in Ann Arbor.
I thought Ohio State was going to win last year, and Chuck, I ain't learned my lesson.
Me neither.
I ain't learned my lesson. I got 24-13 Buckeyes. I ain't learned my lesson yet, Charles.
Yeah, and we're going to get a FaceTime from Charles after the game if Michigan wins this game. I'm the same. I got the Buckeyes 31-14. It is the defense. They're just too good. And I think Bryce Underwood's going to be seeing 25 defenders out there today.
I think it's the defense as well, but I think it's Michigan's defense. Michigan's defense does a great job today against Julian Satan. Doesn't give them their Heisman moment. Michigan 20, Ohio State 17.
Absolute street fight. I see it real close at halftime, 28-18 at the end of the game. Buckeyes.
You know what time it is?
Oh, no.
You know what time it is? It's time for the flag, baby. It's time for the flag. It's time for the flag. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Michigan out of the tunnel on the edge of the floor and ready to head towards the Go Blue sign. Sharon Moore has never lost as head coach to his rivals from Columbus. Sharon Moore and the Wolverines still alive in the Big Ten title hunt, still alive in the playoff picture, but they have to get by the Buckeyes today inside the Big House. It's Wolverines and Buckeyes. It's the game for the call upstairs to the Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt.
Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business. Connecting changes everything from Michigan Stadium, also known as the Big House. We've got the game for you folks as Ohio State comes into town to take on Michigan. And here come the Buckeyes. This is what's at stake today. If Ohio State wins, they head to the Big Ten Championship. If Michigan wins and Oregon loses to Washington, the Wolverines will be heading to Indianapolis. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson, along with my quarterback, Joel Klatt. And welcome to Ann Arbor, folks. Welcome to the game. Let's start with the visitors, Ohio State, reigning national champions, undefeated, #1 team in the country. Partner, they've got it going on all phases of the game.
That's why I think they just need to be themselves today. You know, this has been the most complete team in America, and if they are just themselves, they're going to be in a great position. And what does that mean? Well, it means let the stars shine like Jeremiah Smith. He will play. We'll see how effective he is with that leg injury. And it means dominating on defense. This is the best defense in America, led by Caleb Downs. You got to let them go eat. And then it comes down to a close game in the fourth quarter, and it's about executing in the fourth. Julian Sayin has been the most efficient quarterback that we've got in college football. He leads the nation in completion percentage, and his ability to play well in a close game late will, I think, determine the game.
As for the Michigan Wolverines, they've had a fine season, only 2 losses on the road, Oklahoma and USC. Like Ohio State, they have a terrific defense. They can run the football, and an 18-year-old quarterback that's getting better and better every moment.
And they've got the blueprint, right? These last 4 victories over the Buckeyes, what does that mean for Michigan? It means that you trust the process. What got those victories? Toughness and physicality. Winning at the line of scrimmage, running the football with a guy like Jordan Marshall, who will be back from a shoulder injury. He will play. He's got 4 straight 100-yard games. You got to limit explosives defensively, in particular that big play offense for Ohio State, and then efficient quarterback play. This young star, Bryce Underwood, if he's efficient and clean with the football, they feel like they'll be close in the fourth quarter. Well, that's the blueprint. When they're close in the fourth quarter, they feel like that toughness and physicality will win out, and they'll win the game.
All right, time now to join the third member of our team on the sideline, the AAG, the All-American girl, Jenny Taft, with Coach Day.
Coach, I know how much this one means to you. You live it every single day. Why will Ohio State win today?
Well, we waited a long time to play this game, and now it's time to go put it on the field. What a great atmosphere. This is what it's all about. We're going to be attacking from the jump on this one.
Good luck. Thank you, Coach. Time now to send it to Tom Rinaldi.
Sharon, your freshman quarterback, Bryce Underwood, first time in this game. What do you most need to see from him in the first series or 2?
Just be him. Don't press. Be true to your reads. Be true to yourself, and just have fun.
You said it's not about belief. It's about trust. What do you need this team to trust right now?
Yeah, just trust with each other. Trust the coaching staff, the players, everything they've done to prepare for this moment.
Good luck. Appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Guys.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. This is Big Ten weather, folks. 30 degrees at kickoff time. Feels like it's 22, and it could be windy. In a series that dates back to an 1897 meeting here in Ann Arbor, Michigan leads it 62-52. With 6 ties, Wolverines have won 4 straight after the Buckeyes had won 8 in a row. Ohio State won the toss, deferred. Michigan will receive the football. Jerome Moore. Bryce Underwood. Jaden Fielding will send it away for Ohio State. Andrew Marsh is the deep man. Michigan, Ohio State, here we go. And Marsh. And that will bring out Bryce Underwood, the freshman from Detroit.
#1 recruit in the country, a mountain of expectations, and is coming off his best and most efficient performance of his young career last week against Maryland. He's going against the best defense in the country, and it's also a complicated defense. So I do think it'll be imperative for him today, Gus, to utilize his legs and that athleticism 2, 3, 4 times, scrambling around, trying to move the chains with his feet.
Underwood, 16 of 23, 215 yards passing, 2 touchdowns against Maryland last week. On first down, they hand it off. Marshall, still running. Jordan Marshall, out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Michigan gashing them for 35 on the first play of the game. Let's take a look at the Wolverines on offense.
This is a young offense. They've got 6 freshmen starting in this ballgame, 3 redshirt freshmen up front. I think Jordan Marshall's going to have a big day. He's coming off of that shoulder injury and 4 straight 100-yard games. So we'll see how effective he is. Great run there to begin. And Andrew Marsh on the outside. He's the focal point of the passing game, #4.
First down and 10 at the 39. Underwood to throw. Underneath. He finds his receiver. It's Marshall. He'll dive forward and get inside the 30 defensively for the Buckeyes.
Well, this defense has 4 first-round draft picks right down the middle. It starts up front with Caden McDonald, their nose tackle. He is a big boy up front, number 98. 2 linebackers are the best in the country. Sonny Styles and the potential first pick in the draft, Arvell Reese, and then Caleb Downs in the back end. He's terrific.
First down and 10 at the 29. Marshall now running right, and he'll crash across the line of scrimmage. Sonny Styles with the tackle.
It's a terrific start so far here for Michigan. That first play over off the left side. You know, they feel like, talking with Sharon Moore, that their run game obviously is where they're going to need to lean and establish that early for their young quarterback. Thus, they have to do that on the edge. That outside C gap is right over the tackle and the tight end. That's what they did on the first snap for the big run to Marshall.
Second down and 9. Underwood, quarterback run, and he'll go nowhere. Wrestled down. Kenyatta Jackson Jr. got him. No gain.
Kenyatta Jackson, such a versatile player, plays defensive end. He can play inside. Big third down. They're going to tempo. They'll go a little fast here, trying to catch Ohio State off guard.
Third down and 9 at the 27. Opening series for Michigan. And Ohio State calls a timeout. 12:45 to play first quarter. Michigan moving the ball early. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business. Connecting changes everything. And by Progressive Insurance. Home and auto coverage you can count on. Time for today's game flow, sponsored by Progressive Michigan Stadium. Ohio State and the Wolverines battling once again with so much on the line. Michigan, very good opening series. Face now with a third down and 8 at the Ohio State 27-yard line. Jordan Marshall remains in the game at running back with young Bryce Underwood, 18 years old, at quarterback. Underwood flips it out and incomplete. Marshall the target. That didn't fool the Ohio State defense, and that'll bring on the kicking unit for Michigan.
Lorenzo Styles did a great job. He was banged up and had to leave last week's game against Rutgers with what looked to be a shoulder stinger, and he's back on the field here starting for Ohio State. he was right there. Even if Marshall catches that ball, it likely goes for no gain.
Dominic Zavada comes in on the season. He's 12 of 19 last year. He was a first-team All-America. He struggled a little bit from time to time this year. This one from 45 yards away. He's got a big leg. Got it up. And good. Michigan on the board first. 12:37 to play in the first quarter. Coming up, Ryan Day and his offense after this. Let's take a look at the current Big Ten standings, sponsored by Discover. And don't forget to tune into the Discover Big Ten Championship game, presented by Discover, December 6th on Fox.
Well, how about Indiana, 12-0, big win over Purdue, their rival. Yesterday, they punched their ticket into the Big Ten Championship game. Now, it's pretty simple. Ohio State win, they're in. Oregon still alive, obviously, with Ohio State loss today to Michigan and a win over Washington for Oregon. And Michigan, of course, still alive as well if the Ducks were to stub their toe in Husky Stadium.
Michigan up 3-0 now. Ohio State will get their opportunity. Sunderland will kick it away. Brandon Ennis is the deep man for the Buckeyes. And Ennis with the fair catch inside the 5. That brings on Julian Sayin. And this kid has been sensational. He is a Heisman contender from Carlsbad, California.
He's got an elite release. It's so quick. He's very accurate with the ball, but the coaches are more impressed with his mind. They say that his mind is faster than his release, which is quite outstanding. Nobody throws it better downfield than Julian Sayin. And I just go back to what Ryan Day told Jenny Taft on the sideline before the game. He said, we're going to attack. That's what they did in the playoff to win the national championship. I would assume with the 2 stars back on the field, Tate and Smith, I think they're going to attack here early in the game.
27 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions for Sayin this year. From the 25, Sayin looks up top, incomplete. Intended for Carnell Tate. Zeke Berry in coverage, and he knocked that ball down.
Well, what great coverage by Zeke Berry out there. He's only 5'11", 196, and there's nobody in college football that's been better on deep balls than Carnell Tate. The contested catch, he has excelled at. But Berry did a great job of waiting until that ball got to the hands, and then he reaches up and knocks it away.
Carnell Tate comes into this game with 39 catches for 711 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's been nursing a lower body injury. Out for the last 2, 2nd and 10 at the 25. Sayin again near side. Intercepted. Hill. And Michigan with the first turnover of the game.
He never recognizes the coverage. Hill is going to sink off and be underneath the route because he's got help over the top. You see the safety screaming over the top right there. Sayin never saw him. He tries to go back shoulder, but Hill is underneath the route. That is a beautiful defense designed by Wink Martindale. Young quarterback doesn't see it, and a massive turnover for Michigan here early in the game. This place is going crazy. You've got to think that they're going to double team Jeremiah Smith. That's what they were doing. Help over the top, and Hill played it perfectly. He sinks off, he's underneath, he waits for the ball, and it's first down Wolverines.
From the Ohio State 39, Marshall, the pistol back. Underwood wants to run with a lane. Underwood dives and is wrapped up by Igbignosin after he picks up 7.
Now this is the point of the game where if you're Michigan, you got to attack. And I don't mean that you just got to throw the ball down the field, but your best stuff here, runs on the perimeter, get Underwood outside, because you've got to capitalize on turnovers, in particular on the plus side of the 50. It's a massive point in the game here, trying to take a 2-possession lead.
2nd down and 3 at the 32. Marshall with a hole. Marshall, a burst. Marshall cuts it inside, down at the Ohio State 10. A gain of 22 yards, and already the Michigan offensive line moving people.
That's right, and what you're always going to get with Michigan is pullers. You've got Jake Guanera, the guard, he pulls over. Beautiful block by Jalen Hoffman, number 42. And then you've got Marshall, who again has been one of the best backs in the country the second half of the year. Good patience behind those pullers, and he takes it down the field, and Ryan Day cannot be happy about how this game is starting.
First down and 10 at the 11. Underwood, another quarterback run, stiff-armed, and he'll get out of bounds inside the 10. McClain there to usher him out of play. They give him 2.
You know, this is when you've got to use some misdirection here. You know, this Ohio State defense, let's face it, they're reeling a little bit. And you've got to utilize those successful runs early in the game and try to get Underwood outside of the pocket away from those. Give a nice play fake on the edge, and that's where you can get a tight end slipping into the flat, maybe even across the field from the backside. That's how you can get somebody open.
2nd and 8 at the 9. And they run it straight ahead with Marshall. And I tell you what, this Jordan Marshall is so tough. After Justice went out with the foot injury, he's come in and just been awesome for Michigan, but that right shoulder, it's been banged up.
Yeah, and you can see he's jogging off the field here, holding that arm down. You know, it's a pain tolerance deal. Sprained that shoulder against Northwestern, and now it'll be Bryson Cusdall comes in. He got his first start against Maryland last week. 20 carries, 100 yards. They feel confident in Bryson Cusdall.
Walk on, Cusdall. They call him Coos. 3rd down and 6 at the 7. Underwood in the corner, incomplete. Donovan McCulley, the intended receiver. Davis and Igbenogson in coverage. Igbenogson having a fine season. He came back, may have played himself into the first round of the NFL draft.
Yeah, he's got great length, and watch how he just doesn't panic when the ball is in the air. Good contact, obviously. He's had penalty problems in his career. 16 last year, only 3 this year. So he's done an excellent job of learning how to play once the ball is in the air. And he does a good job there, making it tough on McCulley.
1-on-1 with McCulley, literally. Zavada, good from 45. This one will be from 25. And it's good. 6-0 Michigan. Wolverines will settle for the 3 after interception on Sayin. Play the Fox Super 6 College Football Challenge. Download the Fox Sports app right now and enter for free for a shot to win your share of 5,000 big ones in cash prizes. See the Fox Sports app for details. 6-0 Michigan. Sunderland. Ennis, the deep man. Let's go downstairs and check in with Jenny Taft.
The first person Julian Sayin talked to after that pick was head coach Ryan Day. Now, this was not a frustrated conversation. This was simply a chat between head coach and quarterback. Everyone praises Julian for how level-headed he is, his composure. He sat down, stayed warm, 0 signs of stress. He and Jeremiah had a quick conversation, and he gave a thumbs up to Ryan Day before he headed out there.
All right, Jen, thank you. First down and 10 at the 25 for Sayin.
This is the mark of a quarterback. How do you bounce back? Can you have a short memory for a big interception like that? How does he play on this series?
Bo Jackson in the backfield, the talented freshman. And they'll give it to him with a hole, and Jackson stopped by Hillman. He'll gain 5.
Well, this offensive line has done a great job protecting Julian Sayin all year. They're best on the left side with Saravelt and Montgomery. In the backfield, Bo Jackson has become the guy at running back, the true freshman. He's come on of late, and then the stars are on the outside. You could tell they wanted to get them the ball early. Targets to Smith and to Carnell Tate on the outside. One of them just happened to be intercepted, and it looks like Michigan was confused there from a personnel standpoint, so they'll take their first timeout.
30 seconds.
You just have to expect, you go back to that interception, and this is what you have to expect with Jeremiah Smith on the field, is that this Michigan team is going to double team him. That was the entire blueprint a year ago. And it was a Michigan team that really allowed their defensive line to control the game. Now, you don't have Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham anymore. Those guys are both in the NFL. You know, they allowed them to control the run game, and then they committed all their resources to stopping those talented receivers on the outside. There's Wink Martindale, long time in the NFL, now in the second year here at Michigan, and that's an NFL style of game plan. Take away the best players on the outside. That's exactly what they were doing on that first series.
2nd down and 5. At the 30. Bo Jackson, the pistol. They give it to him, running right. He'll lean forward. Derek Moore with the stop, 3-yard gain defensively for the Wolverines.
Well, these linebackers have been a bit banged up, so today it'll be Jimmy Rolder and Cole Sullivan. In the back end, you know, the pass defense has not been terrific, but how about the huge play from Hill and Zeke Berry on the first series? But the real key to this Michigan defense is the edges on the line of scrimmage. Derek Moore, number 8, number 1, Jay-Sean Barham. These guys have got to impact and affect Julian Sayin when he's back there in the pocket. Their ability to get home on that rush is going to be paramount today.
C.J. Donaldson comes in at running back. He's the big guy, weighs 230. Sayin rolling, delivers, caught, nicely done. Will Kazmarek, backup tight end, with a 5-yard reception, first down, Ohio State.
Yeah, beautiful job. You're going to get the run going this way, and then Sayin's coming out, and the tight end is just lost by both Michigan defenders. Kazmarek is not a guy that they target a lot. That's only his 8th catch of the season, but a nice little dump off and an easy completion for a quarterback on 3rd and short to move the chains.
First down at the 38-yard line. Ohio State settling down a bit. Play fake. Sayin checks it down. Jackson with room. Bo Jackson knocked out of bounds at the 40, but a big-time pickup. Hill with the tackle. That's a gain of 22.
You know, one of the superpowers of Julian Sayin is getting to the check down quickly. You know, he gets to those backs so quickly when he does not love what he sees down the field. And here he gets it to the check down, and then the other guys turn into blockers. Watch Brandon Ennis, captain for this Ohio State team, just throwing the safety T.J. Metcalf out of the way as Bo Jackson was taken off down the field.
A little chippiness already to be expected. 1st and 10 at the 39. Sayin gives it to Jackson, trying to get outside. Oh, nice stunner step. Jackson with a burst. Bo Jackson out of bounds at the Michigan 5. Woo! They call that the limp leg. A gain of 36.
What a move to the outside. He gives the stutter. Jimmy Rolder, the linebacker, he slows up. T.J. Metcalf, the safety, comes out inside leverage. He's got to be outside. Then Jackson gets the sideline, and he's down inside the 5-yard line. What a run from Bo Jackson, coming into his own as a true freshman here in the back half of his first season.
First down and goal for the Buckeyes. Donaldson, the power back into game. Sayin in the corner. Smith, incomplete. That one thrown behind Jeremiah Smith. Zeke Berry in coverage.
I just got to give a lot of credit to Zeke Berry. You know, they've put him on an island a couple of times against Smith here inside the 5, and that one maybe just overthrown a bit from Julian Sayin, who's normally very accurate. We've seen Smith make some of the most incredible catches in college football, but just can't quite get his hands on that one.
Second down and goal of the 3. Donaldson. And he'll be tackled for a loss. Jay-Sean Barham The Maryland transfer. A loss of 2.
Well, we've seen Ohio State force Michigan to kick field goals now on a couple of possessions. Oh, now a late flag, Gus. There is a lot of chippiness here.
Jason Barham just headbutted the official.
I think he just contacted the official. I think you're exactly right.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 1. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down. That's number 1's first unsportsmanlike toward disqualification.
Oh, that's a massive mistake. And you know what? I think that Jason Barham is lucky that they didn't throw him out of the game.
You're absolutely right.
They have absolutely every right to throw him out and eject him for contacting an official, in particular with a headbutt like that. And these officials trying to keep themselves out of the game, but a massive penalty because it goes from 3rd and goal now to 1st and goal, and a new set of downs for Ohio State.
From the 2, Donaldson remains in the game. The deep man in the I formation. They give it to him. Donaldson crashes forward, and he'll pick up a yard.
Ohio State will bring in an extra big body on the field. Justin Terry normally is the guy that comes on, but that's actually Caden McDonald, the nose tackle. How about K-Mac in the game at fullback?
2nd down and goal at the 1. Ohio State looks like Donaldson. Did he get in? He did not. And that'll bring up 3rd and goal.
And there is a Michigan defender that is still down. Great look right here. There's big Caden McDonald. He's trying to get his buddy into the end zone, but just cannot get that plane. C.J. Donaldson didn't want to reach the ball over. That's pretty smart by him to maintain possession right there, but there is a Michigan defender down here late. Great job by Brandon Hillman, number 6. Holding strong right at the point, keeping that ball from touching the goal line. I can't tell who's under that. It looks maybe like Cole Sullivan, number 23, but I'm not sure. Could be Mason Curtis, 25. I believe it might be 25. Mason Curtis, the safety. There's Hillman. Beautiful job at the goal line. There's Mason Curtis, 25, middle of your screen. And he's the one that's blocked. Oh, man, and he just gets that left leg bent back. He was the one contacting Caden McDonald.
Big News Saturday is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Welcome back to the Big House. They took a look at this, Joel.
Yeah, they upheld the call on the field. C.J. Donaldson short, and so now it'll be 3rd down and goal for Ohio State. I think this is 4-down territory. Even if they don't get into the end zone, you're pinning Michigan and a true freshman quarterback right next to their end zone. So I think Ohio State has 2 downs to score here.
The 3rd down and goal at the 1. Quarterback sneak.
I don't think he got in. I think they stopped him. It's going to be 4th down. They're trying to get the push. And he just loses his footing, and you can see his feet sleep out. But now, a late touchdown call by the officials after they uncovered the pile. Wow, that is about as late as I've ever seen, Gus.
No doubt about it. They give Ohio State the touchdown.
I mean, look at, you can see 10. He's a half a yard short. He goes all the way down to the turf with that ball well short of the goal line. There was no indication from the 2 side officials who came running in.
Ruling of touchdown is on further review.
So they'll take a look at it. Let's bring in Mike Pereira. Mikey, rule books, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, the reason it's late because you cannot see where the ball is when you get the quarterback plunged like that. So the only thing you can do is to wait, let them unpile, and at that point when they find them, if the ball has broken the plane, then they rule the delayed touchdown. Now it is really close. Now they'll get the chance to look at all the shots.
Well, based on the shots that we saw, Mike, you can see that his feet slip out from under him, and then when his butt hits the turf and puts him down, he was well short. You know, you can't see him, and then now you kind of see Julian saying again, he's a half-yard short, Mike, and you can see the ball. You can see the ball. Here he is with the ball right there. And it's not close to that goal line.
When we looked at it, the thing was he got turned around and was backing toward the end zone too. So then you're looking at the position of the ball. But again, very difficult to see, but certainly feels short to me. But they did rule it a touchdown, so they have to have clear and obvious evidence.
Well, I would anticipate this being overturned. And then
As would I.
And then the discussion goes to fourth down. And what do you do? And again, I'll go back to what I said before third down, which is I think that this is four down territory. Ryan Day has to establish that they're not just going to settle for field goals. Last year, the red zone was a massive issue for Ohio State in this matchup. 5 trips inside of the red zone. They only got 10 points. You don't want to settle for field goals. You can see there's just starting to be some snow flurries here.
After further review, the quarterback's knee was down short of the goal line. It'll be fourth down.
So we got a big fourth down coming up and a decision for Ryan Day. It looks like he will go for it. Ohio State, 9 of 13 on fourth down conversions this year. Fourth down and goal.
And this will be the 6th straight snap from inside the 3-yard line. Michigan has turned them away on the first 5. Can they do it again?
C.J. Donaldson, 6'2", 232, the senior. The deep man out of the offset eye. Play fake, Sayin. And a flag on the play.
False start offense, number 85, 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
That's Bennett Christian. He was the wing tight end on the left side of the offensive line, and now I think the decision becomes much more difficult, and it will be a kick for Ohio State. There's Bennett Christian, and watch as he's just going to flinch right there, right before the snap. And for Ohio State and Ryan Day, another mistake inside the red zone against Michigan. It happened too often a year ago, and they'll have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Jaden Fielding comes in. He's been terrific this season, 13 of 15. This one from 24 yards away. And it's good. Ohio State on the board now. 4:33 to go in the first quarter. 6-3, Michigan. Now last year, an unranked Michigan team beat a ranked Ohio State team for just the second time in their history, and a lot went into Ohio State's fall. They missed 2 field goals inside the 40. Will Howard threw 2 interceptions, and they ran just 7 offensive plays in the fourth quarter with 0 targets to Jeremiah Smith.
And we're almost through the whole first quarter today, and Smith still hasn't caught a ball. Tate hasn't caught a ball. And now Michigan has turned them away, and again, now you're starting to get this weather, some snow flurries. Oh, Gus, I love this game.
It's the best, no doubt about it. Ohio State goes on an 11-play, 69-yard drive. They ate up 5 minutes and 9 seconds. Andrew Marsh, the talented freshman for Michigan, is the deep man, as Jaden Fielding will send it away. And he kicks this one out of the end zone. Next Saturday, it's the Big Ten Championship game on Fox. Number 2, Indiana punched their ticket last night, but who will be in Indy to face them? Will it be the defending champion Buckeyes? Will it be Michigan, or does Oregon crash the party? We'll find out soon enough. The Big Ten Championship game coverage begins next Saturday at 6:30 Eastern, only on Fox. Wolverines take over. First down for Bryce Underwood. And he'll hand it off to Kuzdal. Kuzdal, a whirling dervish as he crosses the 30. Let's go on downstairs and check in with Tom.
Gus Sharon Moore, heading into this game, told the student body in Michigan Nation this week, you wanted the big house louder than it's ever been. He exhorted the crowd twice there in that stand to try to prevent those points, jumping up and down, his arms waving up and down, trying to get this crowd as involved and to rattle Ohio State. Seemed to work there a little bit with that false start, guys.
All right, Tom, thank you. 2nd and 5 at the 30. Kuzdal remains in the game at running back. Play fake. Underwood steps up in the pocket, and it'll be tackled for a loss. Caden Curry, what a year he's been having. And he gets up slowly. Flag on the play.
Curry has been a monster this year.
Offense number 42. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 2nd out.
Well, Jalen Hoffman, number 42, he's in because Max Bredesen, he's been out with a foot injury that happened last week. Here's Hoffman right here, and he just has to tackle Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles is such an incredible player and athlete. You can see the violence he blitzes with on the edge, and he just lowers his shoulder. Hoffman had no other choice but to tackle him. There's Max Bredesen, the Wolverine, as we like to call him. Unfortunate for him here late in his career. He's got a foot injury. It's been hindering his ability here this week. He's trying to give it a go, but it's been mostly Hoffman in the game at fullback.
3rd down and 5 at the 30. Kuzdal remains in the game. Underwood looking, scrambling, tries to make a move. They'll get across the line of scrimmage, but not enough for the first down. And the Wolverines will have to punt it away. Curry and Houston combining on the tackle.
Yeah, well, what you see here out of these Ohio State players is stickiness on defense. You know, they are great in coverage in the secondary, and there's just nowhere to go with the ball. Curry also drops out from that in position, and then he's able to step up and contain. Underwood trying to make a play with his legs, can't do it. Nice job for Ohio State getting off the field on 3rd down.
So Hudson Hollenbeck comes in to punt it away from the 15. Brandon Ennis is the deep man. He's at his own 27. Ennis backpedaling. He'll get a shot. Steps up. And Ennis crosses the 35 up to the 36. A 48-yard punt and a 14-yard return. Joe Taylor with the tackle on special teams.
Well, you look at what this Ohio State team has done at home. They have been very good at home. Points per game, over 33. Opponents haven't even scored 11. The run game is what's so dominant. 239 on the ground. That is a huge deal for this Michigan team. And our big deals are sponsored by Walmart.
First down at the 37. Both teams have run more plays in their opponent's territory than in their own. Sayin to Jeremiah Smith, and Smith crosses the line of scrimmage. Gains 2. Big day for Jeremiah Smith, folks. Today he celebrates his 20th birthday.
Well, and finally gets his first catch. Didn't have a catch in the 4th quarter a year ago. Almost went the whole quarter this year. Turns 20 today. What a sensational talent. And a great joy to be around as we've been around him this year, covering him this year, last year. Such a positive player, an incredible player, and what a bright future he has ahead of him.
2nd down and 9 at the 38. Jackson tracked down from behind. Bo Jackson stopped by Metcalf. Also Payne in on the play. It's a 2-yard gain, so that'll make it 3rd down and 7.
Well, now you have to wonder about that coverage, and what are they going to try to do in coverage on Tate and on Smith? And are they doubled? If they're doubled, who else can make a play? Wink Martindale, rest assured, he's not going to allow Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate to run around in single coverage, in particular on third downs. Two safeties back right here. We'll see where Ohio State goes.
3rd and 7 from the 40. Sayin with time underneath, caught, and a first down. Jeremiah Smith with a gain of 8 yards. Make that Carnell Tate.
Yeah, a nice hook route right here from Tate, and the ball is on time and on target right at the sticks. Very smart receivers, these guys. They understand what they need to do on each and every down, and Tate knows where the sticks are. He gets to them, and that's his 40th catch of the season.
First down from the 48 for Ohio State. Jackson trying to get outside, cuts it back. Jimmy Rolder with the stop, a gain of 3. And this could take us to the end of the first quarter.
I don't know if they'll get one off. They're going to try to get up to the line of scrimmage. We'll see if they can get a snap off. Maybe they will here.
2nd and 7. And they will not. That'll take us to the end of the first quarter. 6-3 the score. Michigan leads Ohio State. Back for the start of the second right after this. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business. Connecting changes everything. Welcome back to Ann Arbor. Start of the second quarter. We've got a good one brewing here. Michigan 6, Ohio State 3. Buckeyes faced with a 2nd down and 7 from the 49. Bo Jackson remains in the game at running back. Michigan showing blitz. Here they come. Jackson. He'll get a yard. Nicely done on the tackle by Jimmy Rolder. And they love the way this kid plays.
Yeah, they sure do. He's ultra aggressive, and they love to blitz him. Now, Ohio State will use a little bit of a quick tempo here into 3rd down.
3rd and 6 at the 48. Sayin looking. Near side, caught. Carnell Tate turns it up and picks up a first down. Derek Moore with pressure. That's an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, and he looks healthy on the outside. This is a great job. Again, he's just going to force a deep route, and then he's going to hook it up right at the first down marker. We've seen that now twice today. Very intelligent player, and normally if you're going to throw that wide side all the way to the far side of the field, that corner is going to have a lot of sink to him. He's going to get very deep, and so you can throw it underneath the wide corner a lot.
First down at the Michigan 40 for the Buckeyes. Sayin looking, sideline toss, caught, and it's Max Clare, the Purdue transfer, his 39th catch of the year.
Boy, he was hanging on that deep route. He wanted to throw this ball to Tate. You're going to get a route all the way over the field, and you can see Julian Sayin as he steps up in the pocket. He wants it, and then he's got to exit, and he gets to the check down on the outside to get some positive yardage.
Second down and 5. Jackson. Not a lot. Jimmy Rolder again. No gain.
He has been so aggressive, and they just couldn't quite get up to block him. Rolder has been outstanding for them. He's 6'2", 240 pounds. Produces here a 3rd down opportunity.
3rd and 5 at the Michigan 35. Sayin, delayed handoff. Jackson, and he's hit in the backfield by Rolder. No gain, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, I think the fact that they handed that ball off means that they're going for it on 4th down, and it looks like they will. Sayin will stay on the field. They're trying to sneak a few yards there to create a shorter 4th down. Michigan was ready for it. They had single coverage with Smith on the outside on that snap. Didn't take advantage. I doubt Michigan will allow that to happen again.
4th down and 5 at the 35. Donaldson enters the game at running back. Sayin winds up. Caught! Jeremiah! Touchdown! Happy birthday!
Just an insane route from Jeremiah Smith. Watches, he's going to go inside, and then he's outside, and Barrick cannot follow him. And they single covered him. They did it on 3rd down, Gus. They did it again on 4th down. That's rolling the dice with number 4. And that's exactly what Ryan Day wanted to see his quarterback do, was be aggressive, attack down the field. They attack the single coverage. That is a mismatch. Nothing against Zeke Berry. He's a terrific player. Smith is just on a different planet than maybe anybody in college football. And when he's single covered in a big moment, he needs the ball, and he got it there.
Jeremiah Smith with his 11th touchdown reception of the season. This one from 35 yards out on his birthday.
We're going to review this. I didn't pick up on the replay. Was the ball coming loose? I didn't see that it was coming loose. Oh, it was. But he got control of it with that left foot down. I did not see that on the initial replay. Gus, that is a good pickup. You see as it comes loose just a little bit. Is that foot out of bounds?
You can't tell it there. This is a better angle.
Ooh. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a massive call, because he loses control and then never gains control before that foot hits out of bounds.
Told you got it to me.
Mike Pereira, what did you see?
Yeah, we're looking at here. See, you got to see he's going to lose possession of the ball briefly. Then he's going to get a foot down, and does he repossess it at that point? Again, ruled is that foot in bounds. That foot's right on the edge of the line. This is the one they have to quickly determine as to whether or not. Boy, I'll tell you, that ball does come loose.
Wow,
so
what a great camera shot
really,
there.
At that point, then when he steps out of bounds, yeah, it's out of bounds. It looks like to us it would be a touchback.
And that's why this is insane. This would be a fumble out of the end zone and a touchback Michigan ball. Holy cow.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Touchdown.
Oh,
they give it to him. So the touchdown stands. 9-6. Ohio State takes the lead, going on a 10-play drive covering 63 yards. The Buckeyes use 5 minutes and 49 seconds to score. Fielding in for the extra point. And it's good. Ohio State with their first lead of the game. 11:44 to play, second quarter. Jeremiah Smith on his 20th birthday. Big time play, and the Buckeyes take the lead.
Pacific Life Game Summary is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Buckeyes up 10-6. I feel like they caught a break there on that last review. Jeremiah Smith into the end zone. Ruled it a touchdown. Looked like he was losing possession. It remained a touchdown. Julian Sayin now 7 of 10 for 85 yards. Michigan has gotten that interception. They went down. They have kicked a pair of field goals in this game.
Marsh, the deep man. And he'll start from the 6. Wrapped up quickly. And check this out, folks. That's Cosm in Los Angeles, where they're having an Ohio State-Michigan watch party. The Cosm experience makes it feel like you are actually at the game, giving fans amazing views in a completely immersive experience. First down and 10 of the 16 for Michigan. How do the Wolverines respond? Now down, 10-6. Cusdom. Push backwards as he crosses the line. They give him 2. Jordan Marshall has not returned. Seems like that shoulder may still be bothering him.
Yeah, he left. Remember when we saw him and that arm was straight down. It's been Cusdell ever since. Now, they've got 11 runs to only 3 passes in this game. There's Marshall over on the sideline. The most effective way that they've been running the football is on the edge, getting to the edge of this defense. They have not been able to do that in the last couple series.
2nd and 8. Cusdell again, bottled up. Little burst across the 20. Pierce with the tackle. They give him 4.
Here on 3rd down, we haven't seen a target to Andrew Marsh, the focal point of their passing game. He's going to be near side, split out wide. He is in one-on-one coverage right here at the bottom of your screen against Jermaine Matthews.
He's had a spectacular freshman season. Underwood looks that way, winds up, back shoulder, incomplete. And a flag. Jermaine Matthews Jr.
Pass interference, defense, number 7, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, you see that left arm, it hooked around that waist and it kind of drags him down. And Marsh was unable to get back to the football. Jermaine Matthews obviously with his arms out, but you saw at the top of that route, that left arm hooked around the hip, dragged Marsh down to the ground. And Matthews with the DPI, defensive pass interference, gives Michigan a first down.
Marsh on the season, 42 catches for 641 yards and 3 touchdowns. Had 5 catches for 76 against Maryland last week. What a freshman season. First down at the 37 now. Michigan with a little breathing room. Cusdell breaks it back. And Cusdell sliding forward. Lorenzo Stiles with the tackle, and he gets 5.
A nice job by that offensive line on that snap. Again, it's very difficult to run against this defense, partly because of Caden McDonald in the interior, but they got him moved, and then the cutback lane was there. And these 5 guys up front, listen, it's no mystery why Michigan has won this game 4 years in a row. It's because they've been able to win the line of scrimmage, and those 5 guys up front, they're tasked with doing that for their young quarterback in the backs here today.
2nd and 5. Costa, and with a burst, he's got speed, and gets thrown out of bounds, but another big gain for the Wolverines, this time 22.
Tell you, this is an excellent block on the edge by the tight end. This is number 83, Zach Marshall, and he just stands Curry up, and he's able to keep him held up. Maybe he gets away with a little hold right there, but Cusdell finds that opening to the outside. Marshall on Curry. El Hadi on the outside. Good block on the outside, and the run game is starting to get heated up.
First down for Michigan at the Ohio State 36. Cusdell again. And this kid is so impressive. He was a walk-on here at Michigan. Didn't earn a scholarship, but because of his academics, he earned an academic scholarship, walked onto the team, his 3rd year in the program. They say he has incredible speed, and what a player to be able to come in with all these injuries in the backfield for Michigan.
Now he's the third player for Michigan to have a 100-yard game. He did it last week against Maryland. 20 carries, 100 yards, 5 a pop. There's Justice Haynes, who is the FBS leader in yards per game when he hurt his foot. He left after the Michigan State week. Then Marshall was outstanding, and now Cusdell has been good.
2nd and 8 at the 34. Cusdell. And he gets walloped. Some hard hitting going on, led by Sonny Styles that time. Michigan is the first team to rush for more than 100 yards against Ohio State since Texas in the season opener.
And they've done it with 8 minutes to go in the first half. You know, so those young linemen up front, 3 redshirt freshmen, Frazier, Guanera, Andrew Sprague, they've done a heck of a job so far.
3rd down and 6 at the 32. Underwood. Quick release. And caught. Donovan McCulley. Big McNosen in coverage. 1st down, Michigan. And one of the key players, Joel, for this Michigan team is number 51.
There's no doubt. Greg Crippen, the center, he's got to orchestrate everything going on here today in the middle.
1st down to the 26. And Cusdell picks up a yard.
You bring up Greg Crippen, and he's got a massive job here today, and it's a harder day for him than any other because he's got to deal with someone lined up right over the top of him. Ohio State uses what's called an odd defense. An odd defense means the nose guard is going to line up right over the center. That just happens to be the 1st-round draft pick, Caden McDonald. So Crippen, 51, has got to have his best day of his career here today against K-Mac in the middle of that line.
Trips at the top of your screen. 2nd and 9 at the 25. And Cusdell looking to get outside. He will not. Great pursuit by the Ohio State defense. Arvell Reese. That's a loss of 5.
You can't get around Arvell Reese. I tell you, this guy is too good. Number 8, Arvell Reese, has been a phenom this year. His first year starting, and yet when you talk with scouts and GMs around the National Football League, they will tell you Arvell Reese will likely be the first non-quarterback drafted next spring. He's violent on the edge. He's fast and athletic. The best parts of Micah Parsons and Abdul Carter mixed into one.
3rd down and 14 at the 30. Big play for Michigan. Underwood in trouble. Dumps it off. And Arvell Reese is there to just level Cusdell. Kenyatta Jackson with pressure.
Well, here's Arvell Reese, and he's just reading. He's just dropped back in zone. He sees Cusdell coming out of the backfield, no one there to block him, and that's an easy tackle. This guy, I tell you, he is athletic. He is long, 6'4". His 40 time is under a 4.6. He almost weighs 250 pounds, and he can bench 410. Dude is an absolute specimen.
Here's Zavada for 49. He's 2 for 2 to start. Pure. Zavada perfect. Michigan down by 1 now. 10-9 Ohio State. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by American Express. Shop today on Small Business Saturday, founded by American Express. I'm not a sore loser, but I hate losing, and losing to that team up north was pretty crazy. I hate them. Just something about them. For the next 2 years, I promise you I will not lose to them. I can't lose to them for the next 2 years.
That was Jeremiah Smith's comment before the season, and he's coming out and having a nice first half. 26 receiving TDs now in the last 2 seasons. He has been sensational since day 1.
Brandon Ennis deep. Sunderland. And it's fair call at the goal line. Tomorrow on Fox, Matthew Stafford and the Rams battle the Panthers with Justin Jefferson, and the Vikings take on Sam Darnold and the Seahawks, or other regional action. Check local listings for the game in your area, only on Fox.
There was a late flag on that kickoff. You see what the officials are chatting about down there. So he pointed at Michigan. Obviously, the mic's not working. You can see he pointed at Michigan, but you could read his lips. He said against Ohio State, I believe he said number 12. And so this is going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct against Ohio State that backs them up now. And they're going to be inside their own 15. So you see some extracurricular right here, kind of after the play. It's hard to see what's going on, where the flag actually took place. It had to be away from that scrum. I didn't see anything unless there was something said that the officials didn't like.
So Ohio State backed up. First down at their own 13. 5:24 to play in the second quarter. Sayin pulls it out. Finds Tate, turns it up. And Tate looks like he has a first down. Chopped down by Hillman.
You see him come back to the football there?
He's so smooth.
Yeah, he really is, and he understands space. Just an excellent wide receiver. You know, if number 4 is not on the other side, you're thinking to yourself like, well, this is a for sure first-round draft pick. Comes back to the ball, then he gets himself into the middle as a runner and gets close to the first down.
They give him 9, 2nd and 1. Sayin, play fake. Over the middle. And caught. Whoa, what a grab by Wilkas Merrick. He climbed the ladder and brought it down. A gain of 25.
Well, you get a blitz right here, which means that the other linebacker, Jimmy Rolder, is going to be one-on-one with the tight end right down the seam. And as soon as the tight end clears the linebacker, Sayin lets go of the football right in front of the safety. That's a beautiful throw and catch.
First down at the 47. Ohio State getting up and down quickly. Jackson with space. First down. Bo, Lamar, Jackson. Stopped by TJ Metcalf.
Tell you, Luke Montgomery in the middle, number 51, the left guard, and Carson Hensman. They're doing some work on the interior there. Gus, I know you love Luke Montgomery. He obviously stepped into some big shoes last year and played great in the playoff. Gave him a lot of confidence moving into this year. And he's had an outstanding season. He's had a good day so far.
After the 16-yard Jackson run, first down Ohio State at the Michigan 37. Julian Sayin all day to throw it. And out of bounds. Good coverage in the secondary by Michigan.
This is just a rare miss for Julian Sayin. He's looking over here to the right side, but what he misses is the middle of the field is wide open, and Jeremiah Smith is going to be wide open on the in cut over here. Watch him see him come into the screen. If he just hangs out a second, steps up into the pocket, goes through his progression, he's going to find Smith for a big gain. But he throws it away, incomplete. Now he's 9 of 11 on the day.
2nd and 10. Tate in motion. Sayin looks that way. Drops it off. Jackson. And Jackson. Wrestled down by Trey Williams. They give him 5.
Well, on these third downs, it's been Tate primarily, Gus, right at the chains. That's where they've gone. Carnell Tate. And you just wonder to yourself, is Wink Martindale going to allow these wide receivers to have a day like they're having so far? Tate's going to come out of the game right now. He's on the sidelines. It means Smith will be the wide receiver split out top of your screen.
3rd and 5 at the 32. Kazmarek in motion. Sayin with time underneath, caught in a first down. Brandon Innes, the captain. 30th reception of the year.
Yeah, I love what Max Clare does right here on the middle, because here's Max Clare, and watch this, he's just going to clear out, and that allows Ennis to come inside of that clear out route inside, then opens up the space. Sayin is looking that way the entire time, and Ennis, the captain, is able to make the catch for a first down. Good route by Clare in front of him.
First down and 10 of the Michigan 24. And that will take us to the 2-minute timeout. Ohio State with the lead, the ball, and driving.
I think Michigan may have called a late timeout there right before the 2-minute timeout, Gus. Yeah, they did. So a quick stoppage here even before the 2-minute timeout. Michigan looking to try to possibly retain some time for a possession, but on first down, that had to be a personnel issue on defense. But with 3 seconds to go before the 2-minute timeout, it's not like Ohio State's going to snap it right then. So I don't quite understand why they would call that timeout. A first down, you don't feel like you're going to get another possession. Now gives Ohio State and Ryan Day time to talk about this. And I tell you,
remember, Ohio State will receive the football to start the second half.
We talked with Ryan Day all year, and there's just been a level of comfort that he's had with the business-like approach of this team, but also in what he learned in last year's game against Michigan. And they have attacked today like they did not do last year, in particular in that second half.
First down to the 24. 2:03 to go. Sayin, inside handoff to Jackson. Jackson cuts it back. And he'll get close to that first down marker. Mangum with the tackle. A gain of 9. That takes us to the 2-minute timeout. Back to Ann Arbor right after this. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Please drink responsibly. And by Allstate, you're in good hands.
Back in snowy Ann Arbor, the Buckeye defense only allowing 7.5 points per game. They've conceded 9 so far, but they are up 1. Rob Stone back here with you, coming up on the State Farm halftime. Number 12, Miami tries to make their playoff case. Number 5, Texas Tech jumped early and often on West Virginia, and their Big 12 championship game opponent, BYU, also in action against UCF. Guys, we'll have all the highlights at the break.
All right, Rob, stay warm down there. As Ohio State breaks to the line of scrimmage, faced with the 2nd down and 1 at the Michigan 15. Bojack, first down, Ohio State.
You know, I could see them being a little methodical here in this last minute 53. After this clock starts, after they'll set the chains. And the reason is that they won the toss and deferred. So they're going to get the ball to start the second half. The last thing that he would want to do, well, listen, you want to score, there's no doubt. But in a perfect world, you'd take a lot of time to do it. You know, even from the 11-yard line, trying to run the football, control the clock a little bit, stay in the huddle. If they score right away, then they would give Michigan an opportunity to get some points here before the half.
9th play of the drive that started at the Ohio State 13. 1st and 10 of the 11. Jackson again squeezes through the hole. Bo Jackson. Leg drive. All good running backs fall forward. He gains 9.
Tell you, that offensive line is doing a heck of a job up front, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
That was your guy, Luke Montgomery, 51. He was pulling around the left side and really opened up that hole for Bo Jackson, who was able to get it down inside of the 5-yard line. You see him taking their time here, trying to make sure Michigan doesn't have too much time here in the last minute of the second quarter.
2nd and 1 at the 3. They pitch it to Jackson, looking for daylight. He won't get it. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage this time. As the clock continues to wind, 47 seconds.
Now, the only hard part with that for Ryan Day is that they really struggled inside of the 5-yard line on their first red zone possession. Remember, it took 5 snaps. They even had the unsportsmanlike that gave them a free first down from Jayshawn Barham, and they weren't able to punch it in and had to settle for a field goal.
3rd down and 3 at the 4. 20 seconds to go in the first half. And a timeout. Are you fan enough? Sponsored by Dr. Pepper. It's a Pepper thing. Electric atmosphere here at Michigan Stadium for one of the greatest, if not the greatest, rivalry in all of American sports. Michigan, Ohio State. A series that dates back to 1897. 3rd down and 3 at the 4. Can the Buckeyes punch it in for 6? Donaldson in the game at running back. Ennis, the motion man. Sayin underneath, caught, touchdown, Ennis. Julian Sayin putting it on the money. His 2nd touchdown throw of the first half.
Well, we saw this exact same combination a little earlier. Watch Claire. He's going to clear things out and then allow Ennis to work underneath. The defensive back was behind. That's a freshman, Jordan Young, number 14. He gets stuck behind Claire's route, and that's an easy slant pitch and catch for a really good quarterback in Julian Sayin to Brandon Ennis, the captain, and Sharon Moore. That is a tough touchdown to see with them getting the ball to start the second half.
Extra point good. 11 plays, 87 yards. Buckeyes chew up 5 minutes and 8 seconds with 16 seconds remaining. Ennis with his 3rd receiving touchdown of the year, had one last week against Rutgers.
I tell you, you think about the way that this game started for Ohio State. The big run for Jordan Marshall on the first snap of the game. Michigan goes and kicks a field goal. They throw a pick, saying right back to Jair Hill on the outside. Michigan kicks a field goal. And since then, Ohio State has been methodical, and they've been themselves. They've attacked on the outside with their stars, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Ennis, some 3rd down conversions. They've established the run with Bo Jackson, 12 carries for 77 yards. That is a big time and resilient answer from a team that everyone around the country wants to question whether they can handle adversity. Well, we saw it here today early in this game, and they have played a really solid back half of this first half on the road against their rival.
And you like the resiliency of Julian Sayin after throwing that interception. Right now, he's putting up some really solid numbers. 13 of 17, 145, 2 touchdowns, and that interception. So with 16 seconds to go, the Michigan offense will come back onto the field.
And there's going to be another flag on a kickoff. And this one's going to go again against Ohio State. Over on the far side, it looked like Caden McDonald, possibly.
There is no foul for unsportsmanlike conduct. The player embellished the contact.
Oh, we got a flop. All right. Look at this. We should send this officiating crew to the NBA.
Where's Reggie Miller?
Oh, man. Well, it faked me out. I saw someone down on the far side. I thought, well, that's going to be a flag.
First down for Bryce Underwood at the 25. Cusnell. And he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Arbel Reese again, no gain. And that should take us to the end of the first half. However, there is a flag.
Yeah, we had some more extra stuff going on. This time it was Jermaine Matthews, number 7, working against number 10, Kendrick Bell, here on the near side.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on both teams. Number 10, Michigan, and number 7, Ohio State. That's their first toward disqualification. Down counts, second out.
Okay, so here they're getting after it up there and then kind of lose them, but they keep going after it, and then they sling each other to the ground. And now Caleb Downs, he immediately, talk about leadership. Number 2, Caleb Downs, ran immediately over to Jermaine Matthews, trying to calm him down, make sure he keeps his head in the game.
So that'll take us to halftime. With the score 17-9, Ohio State. Buckeyes will get the ball to start the second half. Don't forget, after the break, Rob Stone and the boys with the State Farm halftime show right here from Michigan Stadium. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business. Connecting changes everything. We're ready to start the second half here in Michigan Stadium. 17-9, Ohio State leading the Wolverines. Buckeyes will get the football to start the second half. Gus Johnson, along with my QB Joel Klatt. Michigan came out strong in that first half. In that first quarter, but Ohio State remained composed and reeled them in.
Yeah, a lot of people wondering how Ohio State would handle adversity, and I think we saw it. You know, with their largest deficit of the season, they came out and they've been but didn't break defensively, forcing those field goals, and then Julian Sand throws that interception that leads to another field goal, and there's a 6-0 deficit. But ultimately, the resilience and then letting the stars shine, tacking down the field. Ennis with a touchdown, Jeremiah Smith with a controversial touchdown in that first half, and Sayin after the interception, 13 of 15 for 145. They did not get pressure on him, and because of that, he was able to pick them apart, and he played really well in that second quarter.
All right, let's go downstairs to Jen.
Well, Gus, as you know, here at the Big House, it's unique. One tunnel for both teams to get to their locker room. Ohio State went first. It was emotional. Lots of energy from these teams. Coach Day was pushing guys, saying, get into the locker room, get in there. But he was calm when he spoke with me. I asked him about the emotion of handling it. He said we need to play within ourselves and focus on what we're doing. As for Julian saying his response, he said this moment has not been too big for him. He has been so pleased. And the last thing I asked Coach Day, how confident are you that you can win the second half? He said, just as confident as I was before the game.
All right, Jen, thank you very much. So Ohio State ready to get the football. Lorenzo Styles. And let's go downstairs and check with Tom.
Well, Gus, talking to Sharon Moore, he said the most important thing was trying to get a stop here right away and try to reclaim the momentum defensively. That starts with containing Jeremiah Smith on the perimeter. He said we got beat on that double move. Offensively, we have been able to move the ball effectively. We just have to score in the red zone. And very importantly, Jordan Marshall, who has been out since early in the first quarter, re-aggravated that shoulder injury. Unlikely that he's going to return and play a factor here. A big loss for Michigan.
No doubt about it. Marshall just playing some excellent football this season. First down and 10 to the 21 now for Julian Sayin and the Ohio State offense. Carnell Tate goes in motion. Sayin, quick strike out wide. Jeremiah Smith runs into his own teammate, gets out of bounds. He gains 4.
Well, the hard part for this Michigan defense right now is that they're in a bind. You know, they would really love to double Smith and double Tate and play the same style of coverage that they were able to play a year ago when they had those excellent defensive tackles that were able to stop the run without committing safeties to go and stop the run. They've been unable to do that. Bo Jackson, 12 carries for 77 yards. So they're having to commit resources to stop the running game of Ohio State, which leads to those one-on-ones on the outside.
2nd and 6 at the 25. Jackson again. And you got to give a lot of credit to this Ohio State offensive line. You know, they have been criticized this season, especially the right side of the line. Different story today.
Oh, we're going to see what they got right here on 3rd and short. That right side of the offensive line, Tegra Shabola, the right guard, as well as the transfer from Minnesota, Philip Daniels. They've been rotating at right guard, trying to find the right combination, but today, Shabola and Daniels have been excellent over there on the right.
3rd and 1. Jackson remains in the game. They give it to him, and he picks up the first down.
You know, Brady made a great point at halftime talking about the nature of this defense from Michigan under Wink Martindale and how they really love to pressure. Early in the season, they were blitzing about 50% of the time. He's not just going to sit back and allow Julian Sayin to have a clean pocket to throw the football down the field. I think he will live with the one-on-one coverage that Charles Woodson was talking about on the outside in order to try to get pressure on number 10.
First down at the 33. Jackson trying to get outside. Cuts it back in. Choppy steps. Could have been stopped for a loss, but they'll give him to Jimmy Rolder.
I think the biggest difference I've seen in Bo Jackson since he was inserted into the starting lineup. Early, Gus, you could see that he was just trying to get his feet wet, and he wouldn't make guys miss. But late in this season, the last few weeks, he's been making the first defender miss. And that's the mark of a really quality running back and why he's been able to pick up some more yardage here in the back half of the year.
2nd and 8 at the 35. Remember, he's a freshman. Play fake. Sayin finds him in the flats. Bo Jackson out of bounds. Another first down for Ohio State. I tell you what, there have been some great backs here at Ohio State. This kid is on his way to being one of them as well.
He really is, and this is what I was talking about earlier in the game. Julian Sayin sees coverage down the field, and he knows his check down's going to be wide open. That's not the first read. It's not the second read in that concept. It's the third read. And Bo Jackson's wide open, so he gets the ball. Sayin gets it to him on the run, and he's able to pick up the first down.
Jackson had the 5th 100-yard day of his freshman season last week. 110 yards on 2 touchdowns. 1st and 10 at the 47. Sayin. Sideline incomplete. That one bobbled by Max Clare. Ball thrown a little bit behind him.
No, it's so rare to see Julian Sayin miss, right? We've come so accustomed to seeing him throw the ball with accuracy, and Clare was open. They were running a little wheel route for him to get open behind the defense. You can see he was wide open, but has to adjust to that ball behind him and cannot quite bring it in.
2nd and 10. Jackson. And Jackson chopped down by Hillman. Gain of 2.
Well, this is a great opportunity. Sharon Moore telling Tom Rinaldi, got to get a stop in this first series of the second half, and this is the chance. 3rd down. Talking to his coordinator, Wink Martindale here. We'll see if they try to blitz Julian Sayin. They empty out the backfield. No running backs in the backfield with Julian Sayin.
Usually they look for Jeremiah Smith. Here comes a blitz. They pick it up over the middle. They won't get the first down. Max Clare, as the Wolverines gang tackle him. And that brings up 4th down and about 2. And now here comes the punt team.
This is a really good job by Jordan Young, the safety. He knows they're blitzing, so he comes down fast, and he knows that Ohio State player, Max Clare, is going to look back for the ball as the blitz is occurring. It's called a sight adjust from the tight end. He turns back for the ball. It arrives, but Jordan Young is there to make the stop on 3rd down.
So Joe McGuire comes in to punt for the first time from his own 39. Marsh, the deep man, signals for the fair catch, lets it go over his head and into the end zone. So Michigan holds on Ohio State's first series of the second half. Wolverines with the football when we return. All right, welcome back. 17-9, 10:07 to play in the 3rd. Michigan with the football now. First down and 10 at their own 20. Costa in for Jordan Marshall, who went out in the first half with that shoulder injury. And this one thrown in the seam. Whoa, Donovan McCulley with the reception. Gain of 26.
I mean, this is a great throw, but a better catch. Underwood is looking for this seam in the defense right there, and as 3 Ohio State players converge on the ball, McCulley is able to grab it.
Out wide this time. It's Marlon Klein, and he's dropped at the line of scrimmage by Lorenzo Styles Jr. No gain. Now it's time for the Aflac trivia question. Get help with expenses. Health insurance doesn't cover with Aflac. These questions have been really hard this year, folks, by the way, for us too. Who is the only true freshman quarterback in the last 50 years to win the game? Second down and 10 at the 46. Cusdell, nothing. So let's take a look at it. You got any thoughts with this one?
Oh gosh, I know Chad Henne started as a true freshman, right? But it would probably be Ohio State, and that maybe Terrell Pryor started as a freshman, right?
Last 50 years to win the game. Whoa! Look at you, money on the rise. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, Underwood's trying to do it right here. One possession game. I think it's important that Michigan just stays patient and stay with their game plan.
Third down and 10. Underwood checks it down. Cusdell incomplete. And that'll bring up fourth down.
You know, this is one of those things where you would just love the freshman to just read it out, the concept. And here's why. Because he's going to have his best wide receiver, Andrew Marsh, breaking over Caleb Downs and into a hole in the defense right there. And if that ball is thrown on time and on target, that's a first down. And he gets to the check down just a hair too quick, and Michigan has to punt the football away.
Hollenbeck. That one shanked.
Holy cow, 10-yard punt.
Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico. The last time Ohio State beat Michigan was in 2019 in the Big House. They've lost 4 consecutive games since. And here's what Woody had to say. There's nothing that cleanses your soul like getting the hell kicked out of you. Woody Hayes.
Ryan Day would rather the cleansing happen with a win.
First down, Ohio State. At their own 43. Isaiah West, a freshman from Philadelphia, comes in at running back. Quick strike near side Tate. And he'll dive forward to the 50. Zeke Berry with the tackle. They give him 7.
You know, if I was Sharon Moore and I was talking to my team on the sideline, I would be saying, like, listen, it's an 8-point game. We are one play away. It's snowing. It's a dropped ball. It's a slip. It's a turnover. It's one big play. We are right there. We're right where we want to be, close in the second half with this team. This is what they've talked about. They just have to go and execute.
2nd and 3. Sand sprints out of the pocket, looks backside, down the field, Tate, touchdown, Tater, home run hitter, 50 yards.
This is a beautiful concept. Sand's going to roll out, and Tate's going to look like he's bending over to the corner, and then he cuts it off back this way. Watch the safety backside for Michigan. He gets caught up in the other routes on the opposite side of the field, and as soon as he stops his feet, Tate's wide open over the top, and Julian Sand finds him. Best damn band in the land. Awful happy up in the nosebleeds as Tate jogs into the end zone.
8th receiving touchdown of the season. Carnell Tate, 50-yard touchdown as he gets warm on the bench. Julian saying, remember folks, he's a Heisman contender. 18 of 23, 224, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Let's go downstairs to JT.
And Coach Day came over to Carnell Tate to congratulate him, give him that hug there. Gus, for two guys with Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith who were questionable coming into today, they have been difference makers. Obviously, they wanted to play a part of this game. They wanted to be a factor. And you might wonder if they are actually selfish between the two of them. That's just not the case. They both told me all year, we are better together. And Coach Day has always told me from day one, if you're a selfish receiver, playing at Ohio State is just not the place for you. And you learn that very quickly.
All right, Jenny, thank you. Now for Michigan, Jordan Marshall. We haven't seen him since the first half. He's back in the game. And they'll give it to him. Trying to get a cut inside and is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Caden Curry with the tackle. Stood him up. Let's check in with Tom.
Well, we heard Sherrod Moore come out at half and say that he didn't think Jordan Marshall could necessarily go. He re-aggravated that shoulder injury from 2 weeks ago. He warmed up on the sideline, implored. He wanted a chance to get back in, and he is, guys.
All right, Tom, thank you. McCulley with the catch. He'll pick up a first down. A gain of 13. And you would think, Joel, that for Michigan, they got to open it up a little bit for Bryce Underwood.
They need to attack on the perimeter, there's no doubt. Get the ball on the edge, away from the middle of this defense. Maybe get Underwood on the run a little bit. And then we always know that Michigan's got some sort of gadget up their sleeve. Every single game they've got one. You wonder if one's going to come out soon.
First down at the 39. Underwood on the play action fake. Underneath and broken up. Caleb Downs, guess who? Intended for Klein. Downs, the IQ of the Ohio State defense.
Yeah, and here's the hard part with just saying, hey, we got to attack down the field, is that guy's in the middle of the field. And watch him read the eyes of the quarterback, and then he's right there to intercept, or excuse me, take away that ball to Marlon Klein. Just a beautiful job of reading the eyes, and he's one of the smartest players in college football. Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator, said he reminds him a lot of Devin McCourty, even an Ed Reed-style player.
2nd and 10 at the 39. Marshall. Not much.
Boy, Gus, it is really tough to run the football right down the middle of this Ohio State defense. The success that Michigan had in the first half on those first few series was on the edge, getting to the exterior and the perimeter of the defense. That's where they're going to need to run the football if they want to keep it on the ground.
3rd down and 9 at the 40. Underwood winds up. Back shoulder, incomplete, but a flag. Intended for McCulley. Igbenogson in coverage.
Pass interference. Defense number 1. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Well, this is what Igbenogson has been avoiding this year, is the defensive pass interference calls. He had 16 defensive penalties a year ago. That led college football. This year, only 3 coming into this game, and they're just way too much contact along the sideline and gives Michigan a free first down. And when they cross the 50, this is when you've got a shot play or a gadget play ready to get holstered up. I would imagine Michigan would use it here soon.
First down at the Ohio State 44. Play fake. Underwood checks it down, incomplete. Marshall couldn't hold on.
Boy, he has McCulley one-on-one down the field. Right when he decides to check the ball down, McCulley is going to be open right down the middle on that right side. And he tries to get it to Marshall, and I think that would be the most difficult thing for Marshall. Yes, it's the contact with the shoulder, but also trying to catch the ball, get that shoulder and that arm up in order to get the hands ready to catch it.
2nd down and 10. And Marshall Driven backwards by Sonny Styles. We talk about all the first-round picks on this Buckeye defense. They feel Styles may be one as well.
Yeah, he's fantastic, and he just knifes through the middle of that offense. He's 6'5", 243 pounds. He is fast, played safety early in his career. He's a terrific player for them.
His father, Lorenzo Styles Sr., who played for the Buckeyes from 92 to 94 before a 6-year career in the National Football League. 3rd down and 12. Underwood. Incomplete. That one thrown high for McCulley. And now Sharon Moore has a decision to make.
Boy, this is long yardage right here. Given that Ohio State team the ball in short field position, they already had the short punt. They turned it into a big touchdown play to Tate, and I think this is the right call to punt that ball away. There was a little pressure from Caleb Downs, affected the ball, but it was certainly overthrown.
Hollenbeck's last punt was for 11 yards. He's standing at his own 39. Brandon Innes is the deep man inside his own 10. And they're caught at the 13. 24-9 Ohio State with the lead, and they'll have the ball on offense when we come back. One year ago this week, Ohio State lost to Michigan, and Buckeye fans were crushed. But as the calendar year turned, the Buckeyes kept winning, beating Notre Dame in the CFP championship game. When the new season started, they continued to win, extending their win streak to 15 games. You speak to Ryan often. How has this 4-game losing streak affected him?
Well, I mean, after last year, to say he was down, I think he was about as down in the dumps as he ever has been. Beautiful run there by C.J. Donaldson, but it was also a moment of reflection for the entire program. They had a players-only meeting that has become somewhat infamous after that loss to Michigan. And they looked at each other and they said, hey, you know what? If we're just ourselves, we can go out there and we can attack and we can beat anybody in the country. That's exactly what happened in the playoff. And they've taken that mentality into this season. Even after all of those guys, seniors and draft picks left off of last year's team, this team, which is younger, has come out here with a renewed sense of purpose and a business-like attitude.
On 2nd down and 2, Isaiah West spins forward. Looks like he has the 1st down.
And I would say also, for Ryan specifically, I think he understood that he didn't have to play against a narrative. All he had to do was go out and play their game, and that's what they've done here today. Last year I felt like they got into a match where they just wanted to run the football and try to kick a field goal here or there to win a tight ball game, and Jeremiah Smith didn't get a target in the 4th quarter. It wasn't them, and this year they've been themselves every week.
1st down at the 24. And it's Jackson. And if you think about it, when they lost that game to Michigan, they then headed to the college football playoffs, and they won in convincing fashion on their way to the national championship, beating Tennessee by 25, Oregon by 20, Texas by 14, and then Notre Dame in the title game by 11. 2nd down and 8. Sayin has been wonderful after that interception. Donaldson.
C.J. Donaldson on the carry. Brought down by Jimmy Rolder.
Rolder with the tackle. Brings up 3rd down. Donaldson with a 7-yard rush.
I know it's tough in short yardage. Ohio State is the best 3rd down team in America. But Michigan's got to find a way to get off the field. And now multiple possession deficit. Wink Martindale's got to come up with something to get off the field.
3rd and 1. Out of the eye. Quarterback sneak. And looks like Sayin has it as they push him forward.
Sayin on the sneak.
Well, they go to number 10, and let's look at our reliable performer, sponsored by AT&T Business. Reliability that you can count on, and it's been Julian Sayin all year, and it has been again today. He threw that second attempt for an interception since he's been outstanding. 18 of 21 for 224 and 3 touchdowns. I got to tell you, he answered that adversity, hasn't he? And he's been resilient, and we have seen him come of age here in the game as he is continuing on with his Heisman candidacy.
First down at the 34. Donaldson breaks it back. And across the 40. 7-yard run. Hillman with the tackle.
Now, this is what Ohio State has been able to do, is that they've been able to play at their pace all year long. They've won the time of possession in all 11 games this year. They averaged 33 minutes, almost 33 and a half the time of possession. They're methodical. They go slow. And now with C.J. Donaldson in the backfield, they've got a hefty back there. He's 230 pounds, transferred in from West Virginia, and they are leaning on this Michigan defense.
10th play of the drive. 6 straight runs. 6 straight runs for Ohio State. Now Sayin dialing up a long throw, incomplete. Carnell Tate, the target, brings up 3rd and 3.
Continuing to attack on the outside, and Tate will look for a breather here, and now Michigan again has an opportunity. And at some point, I think that you got to play with fire. High risk, high reward. I think you got to come after Ohio State here. Try to put some pressure on Sayin if they're going to throw the football. He's got to be effective. He hasn't been hit one time so far today.
3rd down and 3 at the 41. Credit the Ohio State offensive line. Playing some of their best football. Sayin still with all day to throw. Now he'll get to the sideline. Looks like he has the first down on 3rd and 3.
Well, Gus, you just said it. The protection was outstanding. I want you to watch the block of C.J. Donaldson, number 12. He's going to come up on the edge on this right side, and he's going to knock down the edge right there, and does a great job allowing Sayin to get outside of the pocket to the edge and ultimately run for that pylon and a first down.
First down, Ohio State. 30 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Buckeyes, the reigning national champions, undefeated, #1 team in America. Donaldson trying to get outside, and he will not. Good coverage. Hill this time. Slinging him down. A loss of 1.
I think that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. Well, Ohio State came out and dominated that 3rd quarter, didn't they?
And that'll take us to the end of the 3rd. Ohio State with the lead. Coming up, the 4th quarter from Ann Arbor after this. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business. Connecting changes everything. Here come the Killers. All right, Mr. Brightside, time to start the 4th quarter. Michigan, Ohio State, one of the greatest rivalries in the history of American sports. 2nd down and 11 for the Bucks at the 43. Bo Jackson returns. Julian Sayin looking, sideline, Claire. And he'll get inside Michigan territory. A gain of 9.
And it brings up a 3rd and short. Getting themselves back on schedule. They just are so efficient, staying with the chains and Sayin making good decisions. And again, this Michigan defense, they're going to have to sell out pressure, do something to try to get off the field.
3rd down and 2. Jackson gets to the edge. 1st down, Ohio State. Bo Jackson. Partner, the Buckeyes got another one. J.K. Dobbins, Travion Henderson, Quinson Judkins. Now this kid.
I tell you what, he is an excellent back. And he gets a little assist right here. Beautiful block right there on the edge. And it allows him to just escape the reach of Jayshon Barham. That's Nate Roberts, number 83, just a true freshman who gets enough of number 1 Barham. And then Bo Jackson, another true freshman, is able to get on the edge.
Bo Jack, 18 carries, 104 yards. 1st down, Ohio State. Isaiah West this time. And he'll be tackled for a loss. Nicely done. Cole Sullivan, the sophomore from Pittsburgh.
If you're Michigan right now, you got to be concerned about just the number of possessions that are expected in this game. You know, it's been a really low possession game anyways, and Sharon Moore knows that Ohio State is going to use a methodical nature. In fact, nobody runs fewer plays and has fewer snaps in a football game than Ohio State in the entire country. And so Sharon Moore knows that they need a play desperately soon. They just will not expect enough possessions to come back in this game.
2nd and 10. Again, on the ground, West breaking tackles, and another 1st down. 14 yards.
And check out the left side of the offensive line. They mash everything down. Shabola around the edge. You got a tight end leading up into the hole. That's Will Kazmarek. And Isaiah West does a great job getting behind those blockers and then running through contact, breaks a tackle of TJ Metcalf, and he's through for a 1st down. Let him eat.
1st down, Ohio State. At the 22. Jackson again. Jackson, what balance to stay on his feet and get extra yards. And now this Ohio State offense smash mouth football.
Yeah, this looks like what Michigan has done to Ohio State the last 4 years, is they get late into the game and then they just lean on them with the run game. Big credit to those 5 guys up front. These backs, the young ones, Bo Jackson, Isaiah West. We've seen C.J. Donaldson with some nice carries in this game, but they have just gotten going in the run game. They have been efficient and powerful.
2nd and 1. Jackson again looking for the 1st down. This time will come up short. No gain on the play. Jackson, 20 carries, 113 yards. He's averaging 5.7 yards per carry.
Yeah, he's getting real close to 1,000 yards on the year. You know, it's interesting. Julian Sand keeps walking all the way over to the sideline. I wonder if the headset in his helmet is not working, because he's running all the way over to the sideline to get these plays.
16th play of the drive. Quarterback sneak, 1st down, Ohio State.
We've seen it a few times from Ohio State today, and all you got to do is just get low, get behind that offensive line, and then run to the bubble, right? Wherever those defensive linemen, that gap is, as a quarterback, you just try to exploit that gap. But they're saying all the way over towards the number. It is not a communications problem, we've been told. Jenny is checked down there on the sidelines. I think that's a way for them to use more time in the play clock and get this game clock to just continue to tick, tick, tick.
1st and 10 at the Michigan 11. Donaldson again. But the thing about it, Joel, Julian Sand, not only is he a cool customer, he's got great arm talent, but there's a toughness about this kid.
Yeah, there
is.
is.
A quiet toughness.
Yeah, we've seen him grow right before our eyes. We did that Texas game to open the year. And I'll be honest, I talked with him before that game, and you could tell, you're like, oh man, this guy's about to make his first start. That was against the then #1 ranked team in the country, the Texas Longhorns. But every time I've met with him since, Gus, the confidence in his eyes grows. You can tell the confidence that his teammates have in him grows, and we see that play out on the field.
Here's a handoff. Donaldson. They give him one. That clock, look at it, ticking, ticking.
Well, again, it goes back to those expected possessions. That's the 18th play of this drive. 16 of them have been run plays. They are leaning on this Michigan team. This Ohio State run game come alive here in the game.
Woody Hayes said that the definition of toughness is who can hit the hardest, the longest. It's like taking 2 walnuts and smashing them together. The weaker one will break. 3rd down and 4 at the 5. Play fake. Sayin. And he'll throw it out of the end zone.
And Michigan finally gets the stop on 3rd down late in this drive. He's going to force Jaden Fielding onto the field for a field goal opportunity.
For Fielding. This will be from 23 yards out. And it's good. 27-9 Buckeyes. A little over 8 remaining in the 4th. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. And by Discover. It pays to discover. Look what Brutus did. Look what Brutus did. He crossed out the M at Michigan. Grounds crew has to get out there. My goodness, he caught us off guard. Brutus, he's 60 years old and still up to his old tricks.
Oh, college football is the best.
It's the best. You know, in Ohio, folks, especially in Columbus, all M's are crossed out on street signs. And even in communications inside Ohio State, the university, they cross out all the M's. You can't even use an M. So it sounds like code language. 27-9 our score. Ohio State not far away. Let's see how Michigan responds after this.
Only darkness every day.
Pacific Life Game Summary is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Well, early in this game, it was all Michigan. Jair Hill with an interception, and then the Buckeyes started rolling. This touchdown, controversial one to Jeremiah Smith. Brandon Ennis, he finds the end zone. Then the home run, the tater to Carnell Tate, right down the middle of the field, and it's been all Buckeyes. And then that run game has really leaned on Michigan. This defense for Ohio State has only faced 35 total snaps here today.
Underwood. That one thrown high, incomplete, intended for McCulley. Let's go downstairs and check in with JT.
Well, something I've been monitoring down here, Gus, the communication system is currently down. You can tell that the light is flashing red. Until it's green, there is no communication from the box to the coaching staff. Coach Day just came over here very upset, trying to figure it out. So many guys with Ohio State are trying to fix this right now. Could be the weather, could be the cold, but right now, zero communication.
All right, thank you, Jenny. 2nd and 10. At the 25 for Michigan. Underwood in trouble. And sacked. Kenyatta Jackson Jr. Michael Myers on Halloween.
This is a great rush. So here he is over on the left side of the offense, and he's able to just move the tackle. That's Blake Frazier back into the backfield. He sheds the block, and he's able to get to Bryce Underwood. This offense has just been able to do absolutely nothing, really, in the second quarter, third quarter, here in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, Ohio State's offense has eaten up all of the clock.
First sack of the game for either team. Underwood on 3rd and long. And it's caught. But Caleb Downs comes up and just decks to Nelly. And that brings up 4th down and 16.
Well, this is what's so impressive about Caleb Downs, is that he can just line up all over the field. Here he's lined up as a linebacker. Over on this right side, here's Downs, and so he's going to go get hands on Marsh in the slot. Then he comes up and defends the underneath route, and he's able to get Deacon Tonelli on the ground. Excellent tackler, very smart player. He's the Swiss Army knife of college football.
The best compliment that he's been given is that he reminds the NFL guys of Ed Reed, the Hall of Fame safety for the Baltimore Ravens. Ennis with a good return, and there is a flag on the play. 54-yard punt and a 17-yard return.
During the return, holding number 21 of the kicking, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st and 10, Ohio State. Timeout.
Welcome back to Ann Arbor, and look at the ball control for the Buckeyes today. Time of possession. Big statistic. First down at the 29. Bo Jackson, another 100-yard day, the 6th 100-yard game for Jackson in his freshman season.
They didn't even play him against Texas. You know, thought like, you know, hey, let's bring the true freshman along a little bit slow. And I will say this, you know, this coaching staff led by Ryan Day, they have a real unique understanding of the length of this season. You know, they played 16 games a year ago en route to a national championship, and they built their entire season, their schedule, their entire offseason around the fact that they believe they'll play 16 every year and get to that moment.
2nd and 8. Jackson again. Gain of 2.
It's been quite a show by this offensive line. Been quite a show from this quarterback. Here's some attitude going on. A little extra. Of course, we all remember what happened at the end of last year's game. High emotion in this one every single year, and this one just always felt a little bit different, didn't it, Gus?
Yes, it did.
There's a flag down.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on both teams. Number 8, Michigan. Number 51, Ohio State. Those penalties offset. The down counts. 3rd down. That's their first for disqualification.
Derek Moore, Luke Montgomery. And this is what happened last year.
They got after it. Michigan trying to plant the flag. The police on the field ended up using pepper spray to break that up. It was an ugly scene for college football, but it just speaks to the emotion and passion in this rivalry.
3rd and 6. Saying hands it off on 3rd and 6. Donaldson, and it looks like he may be short of the first down.
Well, I'm sure Ryan would love to just go for this and move the chains and try to end the game with the ball. You know, it's a 3-possession game. This is obviously risky. You'd be giving Michigan an opportunity with a short field, but let's remember, Michigan has done nothing offensively since those first few series. This is obviously belief in his defense, the fact that he feels his offensive line is owning the game and can go get the yard.
4th down and 1. And Ohio State calls a timeout. Let's take a look at what's in store for next week. Indiana and Ohio State have been wrecking balls this season, bowling over their competition. They're the top 2 ranked teams, and their quarterbacks are the Heisman favorites. They're set to collide next week in Indianapolis for the Big Ten Championship. So next week, folks, is a game that will be for the Big Ten Championship, possibly the #1 seed in the college football playoffs, and the Heisman Trophy.
Everything on the line, and it's in Indiana's backyard. You're right in Indianapolis, and they'll be, I tell you what, they will be fired up. Kurt Cignetti will be fired up. Ohio State has not won a conference championship since 2020. You know the Buckeye faithful will travel. They've traveled well today. They will travel again next week. And this is a group of seniors. Let's remember, this group of Buckeyes, you know, there's still things that they have not achieved, even with winning the national championship a year ago. They don't have gold pants, haven't beaten Michigan since 2019. They haven't won a Big Ten championship. There's Davis and Igbinosun looking for both of those.
4th down and 1 at the 38. Ryan Day trying to ice this game. They give it to Donaldson. And it's a 1st down, Buckeyes.
Tell you what, a performance in this second half from this offensive line, this defense, the physicality, Gus, of this Ohio State team. You know, there's been this narrative floating around about, well, this team hasn't been tested. They haven't faced adversity. Well, they were down. Their biggest deficit of the year was today, 6-0. They've come out in this second half and just owned this Michigan team on the ground. The defense has been outstanding. This offensive line has been outstanding. Quarterback has been efficient. This is the best team in America.
West. Isaiah West stopped by Metcalf. Let's go downstairs to Jenny.
Gus, Joel, I know you guys were just mentioning those gold pants. I do have them right here. As you can tell, the celebrations are really starting here. Now, this means so much to this team, and you guys said it, no one here has the gold pants. Luke Montgomery told me it's tradition to give these gold pants to your mom. He told me this week, I'm keeping them. I'm wearing these with pride.
That's what he says. He'll give them to his mom. I know he will.
Yeah,
Luke's that kind of kid. Talking a little trash right now.
Been waiting a long time for this. Gus, tomorrow is 6 years to the day. The last time Ohio State beat Michigan. And there have been some devastating losses over the last 4. A couple of those matchups, both of these teams undefeated. That 23 matchup was just sensational. Both undefeated. Spot in the Big Ten championship and the playoff on the line. Michigan has been able to win those games, and Ryan Day, last year when he lost this game to Michigan, there were a lot of folks around Columbus that thought they needed somebody different than Ryan Day. And you look up here today, and he's about to go 16-0 since that Saturday afternoon in the shoe with a national championship. This will be his 7th win over a ranked opponent in that stretch, and he'll finally get a long-awaited win over his rival.
2nd down and 4 at the 47. But one thing about Coach Day, as West runs it, he knows how to recruit. And not only players, but coaches. That man right there, Matt Patricia, with the pencil in his ear, his signature, has done a marvelous job with this Ohio State defense. Not only has he given them the X's and O's, but he's given them that confidence. He's motivated these kids. They believe in him and look up to him.
I mean, they lost 8 draft picks off that defense. You know, and you come back and you think about Ryan Day's checklist since the beginning of last year. Well, they won the national championship. They're looking for that Big Ten championship, but now he can put a check mark right here. And he can finally get rid of that line at the bottom of the checklist. He's done a sensational job, but I agree with you, partner. And, you know, when he hired Matt Patricia, there were some raised eyebrows around this sport. Like, really, Matt Patricia had been kind of out of football, was an analyst with the Eagles the last time he was in it. Of course, the last time we saw him was right here in this state as a head coach with the Detroit Lions. And he brings them in. They lose 8 draft picks off that defense, and this defense is somehow better. They got 4 first-rounders right down the middle. Benosin might be an early draft pick as well on the outside. Matt Patricia is a teacher. And I tell you what's interesting. When you talk with these defenders, the first thing they'll say, I love that man. There's a lot of love for Matt Patricia, the way he teaches, the way he cares for the players. I think it's a big reason why they've been so good on defense.
3rd down and 3, and Michigan stops the Buckeyes for a loss. Cameron Brandt that time. Ohio State, the ground game has been their weapon. They've run the ball 43 times today. 177 yards rushing. Bo Jackson with 117 of those yards.
I feel like every week we get more answers rather than questions for Ohio State. You look around college football, a lot of times, you know, these late season games, they provide more questions than answers. You look at Texas A&M last night. Now all of a sudden it's like, well, okay, what are the Aggies going into the playoff? I'm not quite sure. You know, Georgia wins against Georgia Tech, but they give up, well, they only gained 260 yards, score 16 points on Georgia Tech, who allowed 42 to Pitt. You know, so those performances provide questions. This one is just answers. We can run it. We can deal with adversity. Our quarterback is solid. Our defense is outstanding. You know, that's why they're number 1.
3:05 to play in the 4th, 27-9. Ryan Day had his guys prepared, calm, confident. As he said, business as usual. Coach Day told us not too long ago, I have one job and one job only, and that's to win every game. First down for Underwood. Underneath, and it's caught at the 30. Klein, the tight end.
I think they're going to wave it off. VAR official had it as a completion, but I think he bobbled it. The near official in the middle of the field started waving it off. Here he is going down to the ground. Did he secure it? No, he doesn't have control. The ball hits the ground. Really good call by those officials there. And you notice the tight coverage. You talk with coaches around the Big Ten, they'll tell you that one of the most difficult parts about facing this Ohio State defense is that they're sticky in coverage.
To 3:01.
And so
3:01 due to the incomplete pass.
So whether they're in man defense or zone, is that they match up well. You know, even in zone defense, that they're sticky. They're on the routes, and they provide tight windows to throw into for the quarterback.
2nd and 10. Underwood. Hit as he throws it. Kuzdar. Pressure by guess who? Kenyatta Jackson.
You look up here as they face a 3rd and 5. Andrew Marsh, who was their most productive player on the outside, no catches today for number 4.
Underwood. That brings up 4th down.
I'll go for it here on 4th down. Part of the reason Marsh has no catches, a lot of times Ohio State has been doubling him over the top and underneath, knowing that Underwood looks that direction most of the time, was the most targeted wide receiver that Michigan had coming into this game, in particular in the back half of the year.
4th down and 5. Michigan going for it. Bryce Underwood, and it's intercepted. Davis and Ignosin. And that'll do it.
Right through the hands of Donovan McCulley. He comes in on the slant from the right side. There's through his hands. Ignosin falls in his lap. Now ends up ripping his helmet off, so he's going to get a flag here after the game.
Conduct, number 1 from Ohio State for removing his helmet. 15-yard penalty. 1st and 10, Ohio State.
But he's sprinting down to the south side of this stadium to the large contingent of Buckeye fans. Man, what a performance by this defense. I tell you
what, man, these guys are really good.
And, you know, they adjusted from early in the game. They started running a few different defensive fronts to take away that perimeter run game from Michigan. All of a sudden, Michigan, after Marshall left the game, really couldn't get the run game established. And because of that, you know, it was never going to be a great game if they had to drop back and throw, which it turned into a drop back game. And that's just not a game that they're going to win.
Donaldson.
Donaldson on the
2:24 to go.
I'm sure they'll take this all the way down to the 2-minute timeout. Now you start looking around the country. You know, I've had a lot of people ask me about, you know, well, who's the most complete team? Well, isn't today an emphatic answer?
Pretty much. 2 minutes remaining in the 4th. The Ohio players. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Wendy's new chicken tenders. Clearly, the last 4 years haven't been good enough. You have to be critical and figure out what has to be better. We've been waiting a long time to get back to this week. Ryan Day. What a great coach. What a great coach. Credit to Urban Meyer. He passed the baton. He set the Buckeyes up for the future. There's Coach Meyer, our guy, our coach now. He had scope. He saw the future in this man. Second down and 8. Donaldson. Gains 3. Next Saturday is the Big Ten Championship game on Fox. Second-ranked Indiana punched their ticket last night, but who will be in Indy to face them? Well, we have an idea who that will be. The Ohio State Buckeyes. The Big Ten Championship game coverage begins next Saturday at 6:30 only on Fox. That's 6:30 Eastern. Julian saying, what a solid day. 19 of 26, 233, 3 touchdown passes, 1 interception. Third down and 5. And they'll get it with Donaldson. First down, Ohio State.
That is an explanation point on the end of this half. That was the 27th run of the second half. And look at Ryan Day.
You could just see the stress oozing out of Ryan Day. The joy in Julian Sayin. Transferred from Alabama, sat behind Will Howard last year, learned. And now he and the Buckeyes are 36 seconds away from beating their arch rival and heading to the Big Ten championship. The reigning national champions remain undefeated. They exercise the demons by defeating the University of Michigan 27-9. Two gentlemen shake hands to end this game. And Ohio State can breathe a little easier today.
Gus, Michigan hasn't left the field. They're guarding the M as Ohio State sits with their fans.
Let's go downstairs to Jenny.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Jen.
6 years. You've been waiting and working to celebrate this. How does it feel?
Well, I'm just happy for our players. You know, they worked really hard. I'm happy for our coaches. You know, they worked really, really hard. And, you know, we had a good energy this week. We had confidence coming in. And, man, the guys played tough. They played physical. We won the line of scrimmage, and I'm just happy for our guys.
There's so much emotion. We're still seeing it on display. What will it mean to you, to your family, and to your fan base to celebrate in Ohio tonight?
Well, we're gonna win with humility, and you know, I'm just happy for a lot of people right now. I can't name them all, but it means a lot.
Go enjoy it.
Okay, thanks.
Let's send it over to Tom Rinaldi.
Jenny, thank you very much. Julian, your first time playing in this game, which has been a great test for quarterbacks at Ohio State. How do you evaluate your performance? Great win.
I think there's still stuff to clean up, you know. Had the turnover in the beginning and put our defense in a bad spot, but they battled and played really well. Offensive line did a great job all day. I mean, I think it was just it was awesome to see our guys just play with elite focus throughout the entire game.
What does this mean for these players to deliver this victory to your head coach, Ryan Day, 6 years away from one day?
Oh, you know, we wanted this one bad, and we know how much it means to Buckeye Nation, to this state, so it was important for us, and we were excited to get it done.
What did you learn about yourself today?
Yeah, I think it's just, you know, we always talk about being even-keeled in our quarterback room and, you know, battling adversity. We knew adversity was going to come, and second play of the game, I ended up coming, but, you know, just keep battling and keep fighting and keep swinging.
Great victory. Well done, Julian.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's go back to Jenny.
Carnell, congratulations. For someone who was questionable coming into this game, you were a difference maker.
Yeah.
Describe the emotion of winning this game.
Oh, it means everything to us, especially this is the last game of the regular season. They came to our home and beat us last year and put on the show. So it meant everything for us to come out here and put on the show and give them a taste of defeat they gave us last year.
What does it mean to win it for Coach Day?
Well, it means everything. I mean, the fans booed him all year for this game, and they were waiting on this game for him. So it means everything for him to go out there and win.
Enjoy it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Gus?
All right, Jenny, thank you very much. Joel, your final thoughts.
Well, I tell you, this team, I said it in that fourth quarter, you know, they provided more answers than they provide questions. Their offensive line was outstanding. Julian Sayin was terrific after that interception. Ryan Day has proven a lot of people wrong in the last year, and now 16-0 since the last time that these two matched up. And I will tell you, this is the most complete team in the country, and it's going to take one heck of an effort and an elite team to beat these Buckeyes moving forward.
The final score here in Ann Arbor, Ohio State 27, Michigan 9. Coming up after this short break, we will send you to Cincinnati, taking on TCU. 27-9 the final. For Tom, Jenny, my quarterback, Joel Klatt, I'm Gus Johnson, saying so long from Ann Arbor.